Hello, Facebook Live.
Hello, hello.
Everybody, what's happening? Sorry that it's dark in here. It's late. It's late and we're closed, actually. We just locked the doors up, 2 minutes ago. I don't know what time it is.
9:20.
9:20. So it's 9:20. You never get both of us live.
No, usually
same-
it's you in the morning,
Yeah.
me in the afternoon.
Yeah, so we're
This
usually
is our third Facebook Live of the day.
It is. I did one in the
You did
morning.
one, I did one.
And I did a second one.
Well, you did your business
I did my
one.
business one, my coaching one for restaurants. I did a Facebook Live on that. So we just wanted to come on because we're both here. We never come on at night. And I'm sure there's different people that are available at night than there are when I do mine at 7 a.m., 8 o'clock a.m., and when you do yours at 4.
4-ish, yes.
So basically, we just wanted to come on and say hello.
Hello.
And yeah, say hello to everybody, see what's happening out there. If you have any questions, ask us. We'd be happy to answer questions. Something that we wanted to address every time we do an event, and I talked
about it on my Facebook Live today,
yeah.
so yes.
So every time we do an event where it's like a fun run, like we're doing this Sunday, or a trip to the Finger Lakes, or some kind of wine tasting in here on our other month, we're following, just because we don't put it in print, we're following COVID guidelines.
So feel safe, feel comfortable.
Yeah.
If you are comfortable enough to be going out, feel safe and comfortable that we are following everything that we're supposed to be following. So
Yeah.
we're really proud of that. We've been doing that, all along. I mean, most restaurants are doing it, but you do find some that are not.
Some restaurants are packing people in. Whether you agree or disagree, some restaurants aren't packing people in. The bar, there's no separation. People are jam-packed at the bar. And other places, they stop you at the door and they're like, halt.
Take your temperature.
Yeah. This and that. And by the way, you shouldn't it's not good to take your temperature on your forehead all the time. Always give them your wrist. It's a better place than pointing a laser at your head. Wrist is better.
We saw something interesting last night, right? We saw people wearing gloves while working.
Yes.
And I found this very interesting because at the beginning of COVID, right, we were handing out free gloves to people, and you could come in here and get free gloves.
I wish we could still hand out free gloves. Gloves cost us like $130, $40 a case now.
They're super expensive.
When pre-COVID, they were $30 a case.
Yeah.
So it's insane how much gloves cost now. I wish we could hand out free gloves.
But we saw people at a restaurant wearing gloves the whole time they were working, and we never saw them change their gloves. And I found that very interesting. We wash our hands, we use stuff on our hands constantly, but we're not wearing gloves. But this restaurant, they were wearing gloves the whole time. So they were pushing the doors open. They were taking your money.
Yes.
They were picking up the phone. They were using the POS system.
And did you watch the one girl doing the glasses? She was cleaning the wine glass and she had the glove and grabbing the wine glass, grabbing it here, grabbing it there with the rag, and then touching the glove. And I said, you just touched every single thing in the restaurant. You haven't changed your gloves. These gloves are an issue.
That's actually worse than wearing gloves. I think it's worse.
It's worse.
I found it very interesting.
And when COVID first hit, when none of us knew anything besides this killer thing's coming from China or wherever it's coming from, I wore gloves everywhere. I took rubbing alcohol in a spray with me everywhere.
You sprayed your
If I went to the store to get something, I sprayed my hands with the gloves on, then touched the door handle. Then touched the shopping cart. Sprayed my hands, then touched the keypad, took my credit card out. I had my credit card already in my pocket, so I didn't have to take my wallet out and go through my money or go with it. My credit card was there, and I was very, very cautious. So, but people use these gloves as safety nets, and they use the masks as safety nets, which means that because I have a mask on, I'm safe, no matter if I'm touching my mask all day long, and my face and my eyes and everything else along with it, and I'm not changing my mask, sanitizing my mask, and things like that. So it's kind of a safety net for people when they don't realize that masks work, but the way people wear them, it doesn't. They don't work. The way the majority of the people wear them, I'm like, I ask people, when was the last time you sprayed it down with hydrogen peroxide? Well, I never do that. Well, no, you have to sanitize your mask. You're breathing into your mask, and there's things falling onto your mask. You need to sanitize your mask. Well, I wash mine. Well, guess what happens when you wash your mask? It starts falling apart, and all those particles start going into your lungs.
The bottom line to this is that we follow all of the COVID guidelines,
right? So
that are set forth to us that we are supposed to be following. So,
by the way, if you're tuning in live, drop a comment #live. It's on the replay #replay.
Give us a thumbs up if you like what you see from us.
I wish we had like a green screen option right now. I feel like we could do a green screen option and like show a picture of Italy in the background.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do that on Facebook Live, a green screen option.
So
I know
we
on
had
Zoom.
guests
I know on Zoom you can.
We had guests in tonight who are going on our Finger Lakes trip,
Okay.
and they went on our first one, and they were just raving about our trip. So, you know, we love to show off those things. As you know, if you've been into the restaurant before, you can see all of the pictures that you've taken over the many years when
Yes.
we've been traveling. We need to get some Finger Lake pictures up there, I think, on the walls.
We
because,
do.
you know, we just love taking you with us, and we love showing you this stuff. So it was fun to kind of talk to our guests about traveling to the Finger Lakes again with us and being part of that. And so that was really fun. So
Yep. But rest assured, if we're promoting an event, whether it's a trip, and we're promoting a trip to Italy in November, folks, if we're not, someone was like, oh, it's so irresponsible if you're going to promote a trip. We have no idea what November's going to bring.
No idea.
We have to book hotels or reserve hotels 6, 7, 8, 9 months in advance. It could be safe to travel. They could, you know, whatever it is. But we have to plan ahead for something like that. So it's not that we're promoting something unsafe.
Right.
We're in business. We're planning ahead. If it's not safe, we're not going to
gonna
go.
Right.
If it's not safe in 3 weeks or 2 weeks to go to the Finger Lakes,
Then
we're not going to go.
Right.
We social distance. We have. But the nice thing about us going with us in a group is, if you went by yourself to the Finger Lakes, you'd walk into a tasting room. There'd be 6, 12, 20 other people in this tasting room. You're going to social distance with these people, but there's going to be people that you don't know who they are. You're in with all these other people. They could be from all over the Northeast,
Right.
wherever. I just spoke to a person right now that wants to fly in from Canada to stay at our Airbnb.
Yes.
Right? So
good.
people are flying into the country, right? They're flying across the country. When you go with us, a lot of these wineries are giving us private tasting rooms. We go in, we go to a different area, a different tasting room. We're socially distanced. We're in parties of 6. So if we're 12 people, we're 6 at this table, 6 at this table. We're going to ask anybody who went with us on our last trip. And we're not with anybody else that's in any part of the winery. We're in that part of the room. And everybody has their masks on. Of course, when you're drinking, you don't. When you're sitting down, you don't need to. So actually going with us is safer than if you were to go on your own and being intermingled in these big crowds. We have.
Well, they're not crowded.
Well, they're not crowded, but
You
intermingled
say
with
big crowd, but other people that
other
you
people.
don't know. So, you know, I don't want to give off the idea that it's crowded up there, because it's certainly not crowded.
Although
You
the
know,
Finger Lakes had their best year ever
Yeah,
last
but
year,
they're being very responsible up there.
business wise, because a lot of New York City people, instead of flying to Napa or flying to
Right,
Florida,
they
were like,
drove up
let's
to
just
the
drive to the Finger Lakes. We never knew this was up here.
Yes.
And that's what every winery said, is all the New York City people had no idea we existed up here, and they discovered us, and they were voted best wine trail from TripAdvisor
Wow,
last
I
year.
didn't know that.
Yep,
Well, that's
TripAdvisor
awesome.
voted
I knew that they had record-breaking years. But I didn't
record-breaking
know
years, #1 wine trail in the country from TripAdvisor.
Well, that's awesome.
Now,
It's a great area. It's beautiful up there. It really is. Really nice.
I think we're sold out for our trip, but I think we're taking a waiting list now.
We are, but we have two. I think we have 2 spots left.
2 spots left.
2 spots
okay.
left. So,
Okay.
2 spots. I opened
So-
up 2 more spots, so I was able to get 1 more hotel room.
Oh,
so,
because of hotel rooms, we had
Yep.
right.
So
The hotel's sold out, by the way.
Yeah, I just got a message today, but I think they're only at like 50% capacity or something like that. So I believe they can only have a certain number of people in the hotels. I think they're the same type of thing that we are, 50% capacity.
You want to say hello to everybody? We got some new people on.
Hi, everybody. Hello, Brenda. Hello, Carol. Hello, Terry, Lloyd, Elaine. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Marcus
Just drop
and
us
I-
a comment, say hello.
Yeah, say hi. We really appreciate your support and watching us and being there for us for the last year. You know, I was just saying on my Facebook Live
Or the last
today,
18 years.
well, 18 years, but the last year for sure. I was just saying on my Facebook Live that 1 year ago, this week, actually tonight, I had a team meeting, and I said, I'm not sure what's going to happen. We're gonna have less staff, and we're gonna be conscious of our hours, and we were really conscious
Because
of all that
we
stuff,
saw
we
COVID.
had no idea what was gonna happen due to COVID. So we had just gotten back from New York City from a food show, and it was low attendance. and people were freaking out a little bit, and they just started the no handshakes and no hugs and fist bump or elbow tap or whatever it was, and so we came back in an unknown world, right?
Right.
We were super, like, not that we were scared, but we just didn't know what was going to happen. And so we came to a crossroads, and I don't know if we've said this story before, but we came to a crossroads, and it was, okay, we stay open and we push forward and we do whatever we have to do to be successful, or we close the doors, because now is the perfect time to close the doors. Temporarily or permanently. And so obviously we chose to push forward, and it's been a very challenging year, but a very rewarding year. And we learned a lot this year. I think this has been a very, very rewarding year for us in terms of what we've learned. And
the lessons this year were immense.
And I gotta say, we've met some awesome, amazing new friends and people and supporters, and it's just been really, really great. So thank you, everybody, for all of that and your support and coming into Aroma Time. And we're looking forward to the outside being open soon.
Are we ever?
Yeah. So being outside, I actually lit some stuff in the fire pit today to start melting all that snow and to warm it up.
I got a new load of firewood in today.
Awesome.
Firewood just arrived today. Yeah. So.
We listened to a very good friend of ours. He had a Facebook Live tonight, and he was talking about some really good stuff.
Great thing. Great stuff.
And stuff on the fact that, without all of our guests, we wouldn't be here. And it's super important to be honest with the restaurants that you're going to. And if something isn't right or up to your liking, doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means you didn't like it, and to let them know while you're in the seats at the restaurant.
Right. Jim owns a few restaurants in Ellensburg, Washington. We talk about Jim all the time. Jim's like one of my best friends, and we talk literally every day. I think we spoke 3 times today.
You guys push each other.
We spoke 3 times, and we would have spoke 5 times if I could have answered all of his phone calls, or we could have answered all my phone calls. And so I told him this great promotion we're doing about our this contest for the $100 giveaway, and he's like, "Well, what could you have done better?" I'm like, "Better?" Like I got all these people commenting, we're giving away $100. He was like, "No, Marcus, what could you do better?" He's like, "You should be giving everybody a prize." And I'm like, "Jim, you're right.
You're right. So
if you make a comment, you're all going to get a prize."
Everybody's going to get a prize. We're figuring that out right now, what the prize is going to be. So, but he was talking about a guest, right?
Yeah.
Who called the restaurant after they had gotten takeout food, and they called and said, "Your ribeye is way too spicy."
Or scampi or something.
No, scampi over ribeye.
Oh, the scampi over ribeye.
It was a surf and turf.
Okay.
And he said, it was way too spicy for me. And Jim goes, "Listen, I'm not here to make your life miserable. I'm here to make it easier for you. I'm here to take care of you. I'm here to make it right. And this is what I'm going to do for you." And he's right. We're here for you. We're here for our guests. We're here to make you happy. No restaurateur, or at least none that we know of, or at least we aren't like this, set out to give you a bad experience. We want to give you the best experience possible.
There's circumstances that happen that are sometimes in our control, a lot of times not in our control, that create this downward spiral during service. Like when you don't think you have any reservations coming in at 6 o'clock, and all of a sudden 30 people show up at the door and they order things that you didn't think you were going to sell that night, and then somebody in the kitchen cuts their finger, burns themselves,
has to leave,
somebody calls out sick.
Right. So there's so many things. I always use the restaurant business, the example of, it's like putting on a show. It's like a Broadway play. It's like your kids putting a show on at school. The show must go on no matter what happens, and you never know what's going to happen. So imagine that lead role person, right, who is in the lead role, all of a sudden has laryngitis last minute.
Yep. Starting pitcher of the game. Can't come in. What do? Every night for us is like the 7th game of the World Series. Every night is crucial. Every night has to count. It's like we don't go into the night saying, if we don't win tonight, we'll win tomorrow night.
Right.
No, we have to win tonight.
So
we've got to make you happy. We've got to make money. We've got to make our team members happy. Everybody's got to be happy. So
we just try as hard as we possibly can, and and I know it goes appreciated. I know that people really appreciate it, and we're really thankful for you. And we just got a comment. Thanks to you guys. I read more labels. I buy real salt, and the pizza's great. You're welcome.
Thanks,
There's
Josephine.
another comment. Thank you, Josephine. Carol, honestly, watching you two really helped understand the restaurant aspect during the last year. I'm a huge fan of those cocktail times. Thank you. I try really hard to make them fun. Those of you that don't...
Moscow Mule Week.
Yeah, no, it's Mule Week, not
Mule.
Moscow Mule Week.
It's just Mule Week.
So those of you that don't know me, a year ago, right now, I wouldn't even get on Facebook Live.
By yourself.
By myself.
I'd have to drag her on.
And I would have to have like a list of things that I would be able to talk about, and I would look at you, and I wouldn't be able to talk, and I wouldn't be able to interact. And so, the courage that I've gotten over the last year from all of you and from Marcus has been incredible. So I really, really appreciate that. I've grown as a person. I've grown as a entrepreneur this year, and I've grown drastically. So, and I wouldn't change it, Listen, there are things I would change, but I wouldn't change how much I've grown in terms of coming out of my shell, speaking in front of people.
You never had a problem speaking face to face with people.
No.
And you were always there side by side with me when I was speaking on stage at shows and things. I'd speak in front of 100 people, 150 people.
I would be behind the scenes.
Yeah, but you were right there.
Yeah.
You were making sure I had everything fine, and I would call on you. You'd just get up to speak, no problem. But you just wouldn't go on Facebook Live by yourself.
No, I wouldn't.
You never did that.
No.
And I think especially during COVID, we tell all of our restaurant clients, if we don't work with restaurant clients because we coach other restaurant owners, we don't work with restaurant owners unless they're willing to go live on Facebook, because this is how you build likability. This is how you get to connect with your guests. Like all the great feedback you're giving us tonight, or comments, or the love we can share, because we really honestly appreciate every single one of you. I mean, we really honestly appreciate you. Yeah. We wouldn't be here without you. Let's put it that way.
And I think even during COVID, it's kind of proved to the world that it's more important to have these relationships built, and to build these relationships with people right now, it has to be through a different outlet, and the outlet is through social media. And not everybody's going out, so you want to keep people in tune of what's going on, and what's going on at your restaurant and things like that. So I think it's really important to be forefront, and interact, and give really cool information. So
got a lot of great comments coming in, folks.
I do an amazing job with my Facebook Lives. Thank you. So thank you. We love the lives. Thank you. We love the lives too. So anyway, I guess that's it.
So a lot of you have asked about Justin.
Oh yeah.
A lot of you asked about Justin because Justin had ACL surgery. He tore his ACL doing agility work in the gym when he got back from college in beginning of December. So Justin went and got surgery beginning of January.
8 weeks ago.
8 weeks ago.
So 2 months ago.
Yep. He's back at college in Canisius in Buffalo. He had an amazing fall with Canisius pitching. He's a pitcher only. He, of course, 6'4".
He's a lefty.
6'4" lefty. And he loves pressure.
And I talk to him every day. He actually FaceTimed me twice today, so I feel very lucky. He always calls me not when he needs something, but when he has something important to tell me. So.
Yeah.
So he called me this morning when he got his inspection on his car, and he called me this afternoon to tell me all about PT training. So
he is throwing the ball. So on the ball, he's doing PT every day, physical training every day, and he is on the spin bike. Mm-hmm. He's on the bike.
He's on the bike. He's at 20 minutes now.
Pedaling away. And he's kind of depressed because he feels like he wants to
do more.
Run,
golf,
pitch.
To jog. He wants to get out there, and he wants to, he doesn't like to sit still. And so that's been really hard for him. I mean, he was
his
up
downfall.
Moving. He was up moving 3 days after his surgery, where he was putting pressure, which was okay from the doctor.
Doctor said he could do it.
Yep.
His downfall is that he could overtrain.
Right.
But when you're in a Division I college, and his trainer was a former trainer for the Buffalo Bills.
So he told me the story. He's very young.
Okay.
He's young. He did his internship with the
Buffalo Bills. Okay.
Yes.
So he has him on track, and he's making a lot of great gains.
With his doctor. So the
Yep.
doctor's involved in that.
The doctor
as well.
works with a physical trainer. We went to Dr. Stewart here in Rhinebeck.
Rhinebeck, awesome doctor.
Amazing. Rhinebeck, Duchess Hospital.
Duchess Orthopedics.
Amazing experience there. Amazing experience. Highly recommended to anybody for those types of surgeries. Really, really great doctor. Bedside manner was amazing.
And I actually texted him 2 weeks ago, and I just told him how well Justin's doing, and he texted me back, and he said, "That's great to hear. Thank you so much. I look forward to being on a teleconference with him next week." And so he has a follow-up appointment next week, and yeah.
A lot of people think that your doctor is this person that's on this massive pedestal that you don't have access to, except for when you go in there. And the doctors, big kudos to the doctors out there that speak to their patients outside of being in their office, that communicate, that call them, that express interest in their health. And then, like, there's several doctors that are fantastic that do that. I've gone to Vlad here locally, Vladimir Andres, amazing. Like, you can call them, you can talk to them.
You can tell a doctor that that really cares, and it's like restaurant owners. It's like any business.
Whether
you can really tell
whether they're in a big organization or their own doctor, their own practice. I've seen both sides where big organization, they reach out and they call you personally. And they say, "Here's my cell phone number. Here's my number. Call me if you have any concerns." Huge kudos to those doctors who do that. It's part of the service industry.
Part of the relationship
building, yeah.
And I got to tell you, I've recommended tons and tons of people to this doctor already. So,
right.
And hopefully one or two will pan out for him, or even 10. He deserves it. He deserves the business.
So Chris is sending us stars. He sent 50 stars, it looks like. I don't know what stars are. All I know is last time I logged in, or a couple times ago, when I logged in or doing through Facebook Live, they go, "Sign up for stars. Your viewers can give you stars now." So I was like, okay, connect stars. Chris, I don't know what those are, but Chris is dropping us stars. Chris, I don't know if you can drop a comment and know exactly what those are, what those mean. Do we get money for them? Or they like, is it like money we get to go like shopping with or something? Like, what do we get to do with those stars? But Chris is dropping us some stars. Also, Chris, tell Vicky next week that the Reggiano's on sale. Next week we're having a Reggiano sale. Parmesan Reggiano. It's on sale next week. Every 3 months or so, we put on Reggiano as a sale on our grocery items on our market list. So check that out. That's happening next week. I had to go deep and stock up on Reggiano. So Chris goes, you do get
money, not much though.
Not much.
Maybe it's for us to spend more money marketing or something, or.
All right, Chris, thanks for the 100 stars now. I guess I can't solicit them, because if I solicited them, that might go against Facebook rules, I'm assuming. Right. But if anybody else is star happy, go for it. Go for it.
So anyway, back to Justin. She's excited. So back to Justin. So obviously he's redshirting this season. He won't be playing. Canisius' baseball season, the MAC conference, starts in 2 weeks for baseball. I know lacrosse at Canisius starts this weekend at Siena. And so.
But they've been playing basketball, right?
Well, basketball is a winter sport.
So
they've been playing basketball, and next week is like the final, 4. I don't know what the MAC conference has, but that's next week in Atlantic City. So Justin won't be traveling with the team, but he'll be back. Hopefully this summer he'll be in Jamestown, pitching and playing, and that is the goal. So
Brenda said we get a penny for every star. I'd love to get a gallon of gas tonight. What's the current price on gas? I'd love to end this Facebook Live and say I got a gallon of gas, because then I can say I got like 30 miles. I got 30 miles tonight from doing Facebook Live.
Keep drinking wine. But how do you have to pay for these stars?
I have no idea. All
right, we got to do some research in stars.
Chris is up on all this kind of stuff. Chris is Chris is very business minded. Him and I go to a lot of the same business we go to the same business conference every year, which I'm not going this year because of.
But we are going to probably spend the weekend at the conference, but virtually.
Virtually, yeah, that's right.
We're going to
so
do that virtually.
Chris
Chris is going to do that virtually.
Chris and I have done 10x, Grant Cardone's 10x.
Yeah.
Chris is Guiliano too. Courtney did it a couple years ago. Chris is a great marketer. He does stuff for tow truck companies. Just very smart and all that kind of stuff. Google and AdWords and stuff like that. Chris is the man when it comes to that. So when Chris comes in to eat, I always find myself like asking him questions like that. Help me out with this, help me out with that. So thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. Appreciate the stars. What else do we have to talk about tonight? When we're just having a candid conversation. If anybody has any questions, you can drop a question.
Chris signed up virtually.
Virtually
awesome.
too, yeah. So if anybody has a question, you can drop a question and we'll be happy to answer appropriate questions, of course. Happy to answer that. So
gallon of gas is way too much. You will need a lot of stars for a gallon of gas. True. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Chris has already given us 150, so if that's a penny each, it's $1.50. I'm kind of halfway there, right? What is gas right now?
$2.99.
I don't know what it is. I have to get. I have like 12 miles left, so I'll find out tomorrow. So I think I'm halfway there. So I'm at 15 miles right now. I'm just assuming my car gets 30 miles to the gallon. I don't know. So yeah. Let's see. I'm drinking this Portuguese wine tonight, the Red Portugal Blend.
And I'm ready for bed.
And Jamie's ready for. What are you drinking, Jamie?
I am drinking Fiano from Valone. Oops, sorry.
Let's see. That's the Fiano.
Fiano. White wine.
From Valone. They're in Lecce. Lecce is an amazing city in southern Italy. They call it the Florence of the South.
$2.70 a gallon.
$2.70 a gallon. So I'm already halfway there, Brenda. I'm already halfway there. I don't know when I actually I don't know, do they send me money? I don't know. Who knows? I don't care. We don't do this for the money. We don't do the Facebook Lives for the money. We do the Facebook Lives to drop some information and connect with you guys. And we have fun doing it. So yeah, so that's it.
And I've been up since 5. I was working out at 5 o'clock this morning, 5:30.
You were.
And then we worked in the office all day, and we worked tonight. So
Brenda's saying she loves the label. I'm assuming this label here.
Beautiful label.
Right?
Really
Red
nice
Blend
label.
Portugal. Really awesome label. So this kind of like represents the streets in Portugal, like all the mosaic, the mosaic stuff, everything in Portugal. So that's
We've never been, but we're gonna go.
Yeah. Where we cannot wait to get to Portugal.
That's we haven't traveled in over a year.
I know, right?
So
we have not. You've said today we haven't been on a plane
in
over
a year.
Well,
so travel. So when I mean travel, I meant on a plane.
On a plane.
Yeah.
We have not been to New York City
in a year.
In a full 12 months, and we go to city every month, once a month, twice a month. We go to New York City. So we have not been to New York City in a full year. Now that restaurants are open for 25% capacity, we're meeting a friend, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks here, who owns a bunch of restaurants.
Figure it out, yeah.
We just have to figure out our schedule. We've been chatting and trying to figure out our schedule to get down to New York City and see what's happening in his restaurants. I often message his partner. Yeah, we had a message last week just saying, hey, how's everything going? What's happening there? And he's excited to be back inside. But of course, New York City built a lot of these restaurants built these great outdoor spaces that are really cool, which don't help when it's 12 degrees out like it is right now that much. But I guess a lot of these spaces are sort of have walls and a lot of heat and things like that. So
which just doesn't make sense to me. But,
yeah.
But we won't go into that.
Here's another point that we want to make. If you're uncomfortable going out, don't go out. Don't make yourself miserable. Don't make other people miserable, because it's not healthy to be stressed out.
Going out is an experience,
yeah,
and it should always be an experience, but it should be a positive experience,
right?
And everybody needs to feel comfortable.
And you have to expect that the person next to you, who's at another table 6 feet away or partitioned away, might stand up without their mask on. We literally got a 2-star review a couple weeks ago because that and a couple other things, because one thing they said in the review was the people next to us stood up without their masks on. We're standing without their masks
And they
on.
were loud and they were cursing, and we can't control that.
So you,
I mean, we can try.
You can try, but you have to kind of expect that when you go out to eat at a restaurant, you sitting down and somebody standing up, there's going to be people without their mask on. And the funny thing is, this restaurant we went to last night, that they were so strict on the gloves. The bartender behind the bar would put his mask down to drink, and his mask was halfway down to begin with.
It kept falling down.
It kept falling down. He kept falling down. He
gloves.
kept falling down. He kept picking up. It was halfway down, and he'd come get a drink, and he'd pull his mask down to drink, and
He'd answer the phone.
he'd answer the phone. Right. So you're going to have to assume that it's not going to be a perfect world if you want everybody to be complying with the mask regulation. So if it's not going to be a perfect world, your best bet is to get takeout, take it home, and enjoy it home, where you can enjoy it and not be stressed out that the bartender's mask is falling down, or that the person next to you is going to stand up.
This is a funny story. Remember last week or 2 weeks ago, we had a friend of ours who came in, and she goes, "Is this a true story, Jamie?" And I go, "What story?" She goes, "Is there a lady here?" And I go, "Which lady?" And she goes, "That you told not to come back." She goes, "You wouldn't do that, would you?" And I said, "Well, not normally." And she started describing this lady that came in. This was probably more towards, I don't want to say the beginning, but
beginning of winter.
June?
No, it was in the fall. It was in the fall. I remember this. You're the lady who did that to you, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it was towards the beginning when we were only doing takeout.
No, we had guests in here. It was in the fall. Let's just say fall.
Okay, so
let's cut it even and say fall.
Anyway, I don't think there were any guests in the restaurant, but she got takeout, and she came to the door. She had her mask on. I had my mask on, and she comes in, and I said, "How are you? You have an order to go?" And she said yes. And I leaned in to hear her, and she immediately pushed me back, stepped back to the door, and got mad that I was leaning towards her. So I said, "Why don't you wait outside? You'll be more comfortable." She said, "Okay." So she went outside. I brought her check, and she said something again, mumbling, and I leaned into her, because that's just a habit, right? You just lean in because it's a habit to hear somebody.
Yeah.
And she went off on me. "I can't believe you, why respect my space," basically. And I said, "Well, I'm the owner. I'm not, I'm not meaning to do it." "Well, you should know better than that, then.
If you're the owner, you should know.
If you're the owner, you should know." And I go, "Know what?" And then it clicked, right? It clicked in my head. She doesn't want me close to her at all.
And your masks are on.
And my masks are on.
Her mask is on.
And I handed her her food, and I said, "I'm so sorry." And she made this, and she went back to her car, and I said, "Please don't come back here. Don't come back.
Don't come back and make us miserable.
Don't come back and make me miserable. I should not have to feel miserable while I'm working." Everybody has stress going on. Everybody feels that stress. And you know what? You're making it worse, because we don't.
You're making it worse for yourself.
You're making it worse for everybody. So we don't want to be wearing these masks. We certainly don't want guests that are here that are miserable. And this is the choices, and this is what we have to deal with. And so when you do go out, please make sure that you are conscious of those facts. And I'm just going to say one other thing when it comes to going out, because I think this is really important.
For any restaurant.
For any restaurant that you go to, please take care of the staff. When you go out to eat and get takeout, please take care of the staff.
You don't have to leave a normal 20%.
You don't have to leave a normal tip.
But a couple of bucks go a long way.
But I got to tell you, we have guests that come in here a lot who leave nothing, and they come a lot, and they come every week, and they come a lot.
And they even ask. How's your staff doing? Is your staff making...
I said, "Oh, well, they work on tips,
Yeah, they work on tips. Yeah, that's how the stuff works.
And they still leave nothing. So remember, those guests are taking care of you. Those staff members are taking care of you as the guest, and they have to stop what they're doing in the restaurant to answer the phone, to pack up your food, to get you your check, to put your stuff in a bag, to make sure you're okay, to ask you if you need anything else. All of those things are taking away from the guests that they actually have in the restaurant. So remember to take care of them in some sort of way. I don't care if it's $1 or $2 or if it's $100. I had someone leave $100 tip one time. You don't have to do that, but remember to take care of the staff,
Yep.
even if
you
you're
don't
getting
you don't you
taken
don't have to do
out.
the normal. You don't need to do the normal 20%. But if you get a $20-$30 order, $2-3 goes a long way with the staff. So
So it's kind of sad, but on the same hand, people just don't know and they're not thinking that way. So Ralph said that's sad if they're regulars and not tipping. I would agree. At this point, where we are in COVID, there are no other options, right? I mean, we're only at 50% capacity. Some people are not comfortable eating out yet, but they're getting takeout. And the staff has no option. Like, it's not like they can say, okay, tomorrow we can open up. Nope, there's rules and regulations that we all have
Right,
to follow.
right.
So those were just put upon us restaurateurs. And that's how the staff makes their money. So, yeah. So,
Yep.
anyway, that's my little rant for tonight. Thanks, Brenda. Go, Jamie. Thanks. That's just my little talk, my little speech, my
little rant.
Yeah, I say rant, but my
Yeah.
little
Advice.
Yes.
It's not only for our restaurant; it's for every restaurant.
restaurant.
Every restaurant you go to. And like, a couple of weeks ago, I said, go online and go rate a restaurant right now or in the next day or so of a great experience you had. Restaurants would really appreciate that, especially the independent restaurants. Go if you had a meal 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago that was good, great. Go give somebody 4 or 5 stars right now.
I think we went out to we got takeout a few weeks ago, and we were leaving a tip, and I don't remember where we were, and I left 20% on the whole thing.
I did too.
And everybody looked at me and they go, "You did what?" And I said,
did too.
"Of course I did, because you know what? That 20% is going to make up for the person that didn't leave a tip."
And they know us.
And they know.
And they know us.
Yeah,
so.
I don't even remember where I was. I'm
They
trying to
know
think
us.
where I was.
And they know us. They know who we are.
Yeah.
So when we walk into places and we sit down and we take our mask
And
off
they
at
go,
the bar,
"Oh, we know you."
they're like, okay, we've seen your Facebook lives. Like, we know who you are. So,
Yes.
we have to kind of make sure our tip's okay. So
We would leave it anyway. So
tip wasn't okay, we'd say something.
yeah.
I mean, if the service wasn't okay, we'd say something.
Yes.
Which we've had to. So, if you have a problem with the place, call the manager. So Jim said tonight, Jim was like, yeah, one of my guests was like, everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, a couple hours later, the bad review shows up. And he's like, they gave them an opportunity to tell me. Like, folks, like, I understand that this is the way we communicate with people like this, right? Communicate with people like this. But when somebody asks you, how was your meal? And it's a restaurant and it was one of the team members or the owner or the manager. If it's not good, just simply say it's not what I expected. You don't have to say it was bad, it was terrible. It wasn't what I expected.
We've had some people who are really nasty.
Don't say it's fine when it's not fine. Even in our restaurant, don't say it's fine when it's not fine, because I don't want you to leave here unhappy. That's not our goal.
Our goal is to make sure that you leave
happy.
here happy.
And we can't fix what already has happened, but we can fix what goes forward.
Mm-hmm.
And if you give us the opportunity to fix what goes forward, we can handle that.
Right.
We can't, if somebody burns something, undercooks something that's cold, whatever, it's already happened. But give us the opportunity to go forward and make that right, and we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll be happy to do it. Because why would we piss anybody off?
Right.
We don't want to piss you off.
Nobody.
So yeah. So, where was I going with this?
I don't know.
So yeah. So don't do a disservice to the restaurant by saying, oh, it was fine. Everything was fine tonight. Then be like, man, that place just was off tonight. They sucked. All you have to say, without saying it's bad or anything, just say it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't what I normally get. If you're a regular there, it wasn't what I normally get.
Right.
And then if the restaurant cares, then they'll say,
well, what was wrong?
What was
could we
wrong?
have done better? We want you to leave here happy. What can we do to make you happy?
What can we do to make it happy? What happened? Tell us what happened. Then it eases the conversation in to, well, this is what really was wrong in a nice way. And if it's a good restaurant or if the staff is trained properly, they'll take care of it. Mm-hmm. They'll comp it. They'll get you a new one. If the entree comes out, like, how many times have you been at a restaurant, you're sitting there eating like, man, my steak's overcooked, and the waiter or waitress comes over, how's everything? Fine. They turn around and walk away. This steak just is overcooked. Mm-hmm. Well, he just gave you a chance to get it fixed, and you turned down that opportunity. So at that point, don't go to Yelp, don't go to TripAdvisor, don't go to Google, because you were given the chance for them to fix it.
Right.
If you gave them the opportunity and fix it, then
right.
go do what you have to do.
Yeah.
At that point, go to the internet, go do what you have to do. So, all right, folks.
All right, I'm fading.
Jamie's tired.
I'm fading.
She's tapping me. She's fired. She's tired.
I'm exhausted. I hope everybody has a good night. I know that's hard to believe that Marcus and I actually sleep, but we actually sleep. So,
Yep.
you know, Marcus will be up. We'll be up early. We got a lot to do tomorrow, and
Yep. I got to place orders now for the restaurant for tomorrow delivery. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see everybody soon.
Yep.
This week's special, $9.99 ribeye.
I think we should come on like once a week at night like this, because typically I'm AM.
Yeah, there's a lot of different
people are on. Yeah, so same people and different people. So that's really great.
A lot of different people. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody. Cheers, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.